Hello, hello, hello. This is Rich Kale here on YouTube, Rich Gen X elsewhere, and it is time for us to return to Lamplight City. Now, if you recall last time, we were just about to finish up the fourth case. All our leads have led us to a conclusion.
Have you got time for a few more questions, Mrs. Morgan?
Yes, of course.
We're gonna wrap up the case.
I've completed my investigation of your brother's murder, Mrs. Morgan.
You have? Oh, that's such a relief to hear. Who killed him?
It was Tom Puffin, choir master at St. Denis Cathedral.
What? But why would a member of the church do something like that?
Puffin is in love with his nephew Ned's fiancée, Priscilla. He's even gone so far as to intercept their letters and write to each of them under false pretenses. Mr. Puffin is also an avid opium user and is prone to fits of rage as well as hallucinations.
Yep.
The evening of the murder, Puffin was at the Silent Raven, and in his opium-induced fog, mistook your brother for Ned. He had his pistol on him, and his rage and jealousy got the better of him. Poor Ronan was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And what about the clothes he was wearing? Or why he was in Chumley in the first place?
I'm afraid your brother fell victim to a cooping gang. They dragged him to Chumley and forced him to vote multiple times. He was wearing someone else's clothes as part of a disguise.
My poor brother. So what happens now?
Now, I'll inform Miss Upton of my findings, and she'll send an officer along to arrest Puffin.
Yep.
There, justice will be served accordingly.
I see. Thank you for your help, Mr. Fordham.
You're welcome.
Tom Puffin?
Yes, may I help you, officer?
You're under arrest for the murder of Ronan Lespay.
What? Oh, God. So it wasn't a dream.
Come along, sir. We need to question you at the station.
Yep.
You know, Miles, you've been coming in here a lot lately, but you've never looked quite this glum. What's going on?
I've bungled things pretty badly at home. Been staying with a friend the past couple of weeks.
I see. What happened?
I haven't been honest with my wife. Coming here and drowning my sorrows hasn't really helped, oddly enough. And yet, it's all I can do to keep from going crazy.
You know, Miles, I've seen and heard a lot of things over the years. Some of the stories would turn your hair white. But through it all, I've come to learn one thing. It's usually not too late to make things better, but only if you let yourself try.
Thank you for the advice, Patrick.
All I can do is give it, Miles. Whether you choose to take it or not is entirely up to you.
Well, I think we should
Would you like another gin?
No, thank you. This time I really do need to be on my way. I should go and see how my wife is doing.
I see. Well, have a good night, Miles. And good luck to you.
Let's see.
Who in the ether?
We need to tell her the truth.
Miles? This is a surprise.
Addy, it's so good to see you. I've been such an idiot lately.
Well, I'm glad you can admit to it.
Yeah.
Would you like to come in?
Very much.
So hopefully we can tell her the truth here.
Was there something you wanted to talk about?
I've given it a lot of thought, and I think it's time I finally told you the truth.
Miles, what are you doing? You know this is a terrible idea.
No, it's
The
not.
truth?
About why I've been acting the way I have been since Bill died.
Well, go on. I'm listening.
Don't do it, Miles. You know it's a one-way ticket to Riverview if you do.
I've been hearing Bill's voice ever since he died.
Fordham, what is wrong with you?
His voice?
I can't believe this! You've just destroyed your life! I hope you realize that!
I don't think so.
In my head, at all hours. That's why I was taking the soporific. It was the only way to keep him quiet. Or so I thought. Turns out that alcohol has the same effect.
What does he say to you?
The type of things he'd say when he was alive. Snarky comments, inappropriate jokes. Mainly, he nags me to find the flower shop burglar. He thinks doing that will let him find peace and move on.
I see.
I told you you'd think I was crazy.
Don't be ridiculous, Miles. It's nothing like that. It's just, I wish you had told me sooner is all.
I know, but I was afraid.
Well, I'm glad you finally trusted me. You know, you could have all along.
So, you're all right with it?
It is quite a lot to take in. I think I'll need some time a little over. But what matters now is that we can work through this together.
Amen.
I understand. Well, I should probably go. This is lovely to see you again, Addy.
Lovely to see you too, Miles.
Perhaps I'll stop by next week.
If you'd like.
Sure. Like the men in white coats aren't gonna have you taken away by then.
Right. I'll see myself out then.
Good night, Miles.
Sleeping in a chair is not comfortable. I know this for a fact.
Fordham, wake up.
Uh-oh.
He just left over the side. I don't know how often. What's going on?
Miss Fordham. You look terrible. Is everything all right?
Just had trouble sleeping. More than usual.
Yeah.
I hope you've rested enough, because I've got something very important to show you.
Oh.
Wonderful. If we're hearing information now, are you going to tell about me as well?
What is it?
There's been a murder.
I assume this one is special somehow, or you would bring it to me.
Yeah.
The great detective never assumed.
There is an exception to every rule.
Yes.
Anyway, you're right. The victim in question is a member of Parliament, a man named Percival McDonough, to be precise. But this is the real corker. The murder is clearly the work of Justice Killer.
The Justice Killer. Is that the mass murderer I've been hearing about?
The very same.
The Justice Killer, though.
It's part of his modus operandi. He kills his victims with a single gunshot to the head, then writes the word justice somewhere in the victim's blood.
Talk about melodramatic.
The police are stumped. This is the killer's fifth victim, and there isn't a single lead.
So you want me to investigate?
Not just yet. First, I need you to look at these sketches.
You took crime scene sketches from the department?
Of course not. I made copies with the station's Pharaoh duplicator. These killings need to stop, and I believe you can succeed where the department has so far failed.
So, what am I looking for?
The police went over each crime scene with a fine-toothed comb and turned up practically no useful physical evidence. I want a second opinion from you. If you can find some sort of link between them, it might be possible to track this monster down.
All right, let's see what we can see. Maybe there's something that Snelling's finest overlooked.
Yeah.
Here are the 4 sketches. Have a look at them and see if you notice anything that might help us find this maniac.
Let's see.
Whoever drew this was a hack. That looks more like a piece of toast than a flower.
A flower.
If only you hadn't told Adelaide about me, I might share my thoughts with you. As it is, you're on your own. If only you had... What's the point? It's not like you're actually going to be able to investigate this case. What's the point? Whoever drew the...
Flower.
Oh, were you hoping for some witty insight? Shame, because you're not getting any. I'm sure this is terribly relevant, but I've got nothing to say about it. I don't feel like looking at dead bodies right now. Is there... I'm really not in the mood to be analyzing crime scene sketches right now. Yeah, he's dead. Big deal.
That
I'm really
flower.
not in the mood to... Boring, just like everything else in this sketch.
Interesting.
Oh, what? You actually found something without my help? I'm shocked. Wait, what's that? I see an important clue. Just kidding. Maybe you should write crazy over your bed. Boring. Boring, just like everything else.
Yeah. Yeah, there is something. The flower.
Upton?
What is it, Fordham?
About those crime scene sketches.
Yes?
I think I found a connection.
I knew you would. What is it?
There's a single flower at each crime scene. They look deliberately placed.
There is? Let me have a look. You're right. One lily at each scene.
Wait, what did you say?
These flowers, they're lilies. Easter lilies, I think.
I don't believe it.
Upton, this is incredible. This is the lead I've been searching for.
What? You mean for another case?
The
Yes.
flower shop burglar. He was stealing Easter lilies. And I distinctly remember him saying something about his desire to uphold justice. At the time, I thought it was just the rambling of a lunatic, but now it seems so obvious.
So the flower shop burglar is the justice killer?
Yep.
It seems too much of a coincidence otherwise.
Well, then that's wonderful. You can kill two birds with one stone. Excellent work, Fordham. I knew you could do it.
Yeah.
What exactly are the details regarding this justice killer?
Yeah.
The killings began a few months ago, and so far he's claimed 5 victims. The department wanted to keep this information out of the public eye to prevent a panic, but word has gotten out.
Yeah.
On the bright side, it makes your involvement in the case much less suspicious.
What can you tell me about the previous victims?
Yeah.
4 men from Chumley: Hannibal Kirkland, Reggie Willingham, Ennis Bowditch, and Burley Cause. No known connection between any of them aside from the borough they lived in. I have copies of the police reports from each of the crime scenes. Go ahead and take them.
Thank you, Upton.
All right, we got documents. All right.
What are the details regarding the killer's latest victim?
Yes.
As I mentioned, the victim is Percival McDonough, a member of Parliament. He was found this morning by his secretary in his office. I expect the official investigation is still underway.
So the killer managed to get into the Houses of Parliament. No easy feat.
No.
You can say that again. It's the killer's first high-profile victim. It means he's getting bolder.
I suppose I'll have to drop by and see for myself.
Okay. All right, let's see about...
Everything all right with you?
Oh, I'm getting by. I expect things will go back to normal once this killer is caught.
I haven't worn out my welcome here yet, have I?
No, you're still tolerable. But when was the last time you washed your hair?
You're starting to sound like Adelaide. I should get back to it.
Not a bad idea.
Right. I think I have enough information to get started. I think I'll begin with...
Odd. I wasn't expecting company. Chief Snelling?
Uh-oh.
Upton, we need to talk.
Uh-oh.
Fordham, I should have guessed I'd find you here.
Ah, Chief Snelling. What a pleasant surprise.
I'm equally pleased to see you, Fordham.
Oh.
Although, having you here does save me a bit of trouble.
Oh.
Trouble.
Those are some rather interesting decorations. Would either of you care to explain how they got here?
And once again, the jig is up. I hope you can talk your way out of this one, too.
Mm-hmm.
I brought them here, after I made duplicates and took them from the police department.
Nice try, Fordham, but I know for a fact that isn't true. The Ferroduplicator makes a report of every employee who uses it, as well as what was copied. A rather useful feature for instances such as these. Wouldn't you agree?
These gadgets are gonna be the undoing of us all.
In any case, I did some digging and discovered some intriguing information. Upton, why have you been passing on classified police information to Mr. Fordham?
Because he's the best detective you ever had on the force, and you know it.
Is that right? Personally, I don't consider getting your partner killed the mark of a great detective. But what's done is done. Constant Upton, your employment with the New Britannia Police Department is hereby terminated.
But
I should add that it's only because of your 25 years of dedicated service that I'm not pressing charges against you. But as for you, Fordham, I have enough evidence to place you under arrest for obstruction of justice and interfering with police investigations. Do you have anything to say in your defense before I take you in for questioning?
You're a bastard.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. I know who the Justice Killer is.
Fordham, if this is your idea of a diversion...
It's true. I found a link in the sketches of the crime scenes.
All right, let's hear it then. What do you think you found?
I'll tell you if you promise to let me take the case.
Out of the question, Fordham. This is a police matter.
And the police haven't made progress in months. Fordham figured it out in a matter of minutes. Admit it, Snelling. Fordham is your best shot at finding the killer.
Yep.
Are you gonna let your personal differences put the people of this city in danger?
Fine. I'll let you continue to operate as an assistant in this case, if you have actually found something of value. Now, what is this link?
He leaves a single Easter lily at each crime scene. The same type of flowers the burglar and the chum was stealing.
I see. A tenuous link, but plausible. I'll give you until tomorrow afternoon. If you haven't come up with anything, I'm throwing you in jail.
Sounds fair to me.
And don't get any clever ideas about leaving town, either.
Come now, would I do something like that?
Fordham, it seems there's no telling what you might do. I'm probably a fool for not clapping you in irons right here and now. When you have something to report, come find me in my office. Don't make me regret this.
Well, that went better than I expected.
Except you're still fired. I didn't have a chance to get him to change his mind.
Don't worry about that after you catch the killer. In the meantime, I could use a drink. I'll see you later, Fordham.
Well, better get to work then. The clock is ticking.
Yeah. Just take a look at the newspaper here. Atwood under fire for alleged cooping scheme. More controversy has emerged after Leroy's landslide victory against Herbert Atwood, as accusations of a pro-Atwood cooping scheme have emerged. Allegedly, Atwood's campaign hired men to find unsuspecting victims. Applying without. Okay, so you're mass murderer, justice killer, arrest made in tragic election night murder, Ronan Laspera. There we go. Gascon spiritualist arrested for fraud. Oh. Okay, that's definitely a clue on that one. So let's start our investigation now. Yep. Alright, so let's head out here and let's discover our, where we can go here. Alright. Well, the police station. Oh, wait. Let me see my case books. Documents. Police report. Hannibal Kirkland. Okay. Justice. Reggie Willingham. Justice. Okay. Ernest Bodwick. Same thing. Former lady friend. And Burley. Okay. Ah! Now I have all these options open here. Good. Alright, so. Okay. Ironworker, Thorm Ironworks. Let's take a look there first. Wow.
Well, that doesn't look good.
No, it don't.
Well, that does. This place sure is big. I wonder if they actually make anything useful. This place
Oh, the employee area, okay. I want to talk with the foreman first. What the hell happened, too?
Excuse me, sir. Are you in charge here?
Unfortunately. Who are you? This area isn't open to the public.
I'm Miles Fordham, and I'm a private investigator looking into the murder of one of your workers.
A private investigator, eh? Then maybe you can help me out.
No?
I'll do what I can, but I'll need to ask you some questions, Mr.
Mims. Sanford Mims. Go ahead, but make it snappy.
Okay.
What can you tell me about Hannibal Kirkland,
Yes.
a former employee here?
Listen, I've got a lot on my mind right now.
I understand, but it's important to my investigation that you tell me what you know about him.
Yep.
I'm sure it is, but as you can see, I've got a lot to deal with right now.
Well, he's no help. Maybe you can figure out a way to help him help us.
Okay.
What happened to your iron mill?
What's it look like? The damn thing went and got blown up.
Was it in disrepair?
Of course not. All my machinery is sound. Checked and serviced regularly.
Okay.
This is the work of those goddamn Redites. I'm sure of it.
Okay.
What makes you certain the explosion was the Redites doing?
Yeah.
Take a look, boy. The whole mill got taken out. Even if this had been a mechanical failure, which it wasn't, the explosion would have been contained to a single part of the machine. This couldn't have been anything other than sabotage.
Have you had problems with the Redites before?
They've sent anonymous letters, but this is the first time they've actually carried out one of their threats.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely sure this was sabotage, then?
Yes. How many times have I got to tell you that?
Okay, calm down.
Listen, you said you were an investigator, right? So find out who did this to my machine.
All
If
right.
you do, I'll help you out with whatever else you wanted to ask me about.
Looks like we haven't got much of a choice. He seems pretty upset about his machine.
Yep.
I'll see what I can do.
All right.
I'll be going now.
Be careful on your way out.
Yeah, I'm gonna be careful. I'm not heading out yet. Alright, let's go over to the employee area.
Hey, that area is for workers only.
My apologies.
Okay.
Mr. Mims,
Yes,
Let's see. Okay.
I'll be going.
be careful.
Alright, so now... Iron Mill, let's...
Completely ruined. Whoever sabotaged this knew what they were doing.
Yeah, so I don't think... There's something gotta be here. Great.
Complete. Complete.
It's completely ruined, but
Mr.
can
Mi-
I...
Yes, what
Is
is...
there something new I can add here? Okay, never
I'll be
mind.
going.
So whomever did this knew what they were doing, but that don't... Alright, can't find out anything more here right now, but now I gotta figure out who sabotaged the machine, but it can't be Redites. Because that don't make sense. Reggie Willingham, Cappy for Colston Caps. Let's go there.
Remember, a black eye is not a badge of honor. Anyone picking a fight will be dismissed immediately. Well,
Good
that's
to know.
hardly any fun, is it? I thought about a career as a mechanic once. Glad I chose police work. Way less messy.
Oh, we got Bill now being snappy again. I like that.
A good old reliable hansom cab. Nothing fancy, just gets you from point A to point B. The way it should be.
Good evening.
Oh, it's you again. Small world.
Indeed. Mr. Shaw, was it?
That's right. So, what brings you around to the cab depot?
I wanted to ask you some questions if you can spare some time.
Shouldn't be a problem.
Ah, yes.
Did you know Reggie Willingham?
Reggie? Sure, I knew him. Well, just as rather I didn't.
Oh? Why do you say that?
Yeah.
The man was a bore, a scoundrel, a no-good bounder.
I wish he would tell us how he really felt.
Only reason they kept him on here was because he was a good driver.
So it's fair to say you didn't like him?
Nobody did. When I heard he'd been killed, wasn't exactly a surprise.
Oh.
If I treated people the way he did, I'd surely have a lot of enemies.
That's,
Could you elaborate a bit on Mr. Willingham's behavior?
Oh, he was a proud one. Thought he was God's gift to mankind.
arrogant.
Always strutting around, bragging about how many gratuities he'd earned or how many fist fights he'd won against drivers from Phillips. He had the shortest fuse I've ever seen, too. Just looking at him the wrong way could set him off. I'd always laugh to myself when he'd brag about how many women he'd had in a week.
Why is that?
Because it was obvious he had to pay for the pleasure. A man like that isn't going to get a woman otherwise. I may not be a hit with the ladies, but even I know that being a bastard is a surefire way to drop them off.
Have you had any trouble from the Redites?
No, sir. They got no reason to give us any trouble, or with us still using horse-strong cabs. I imagine the fellas over at Phillips have, but I can't be certain. We don't deal with those lot if we can help it.
I don't think interviewing anyone from Phillips would be a good use of our time. Our priority is finding the Justice Killer, after all.
What can you tell me about Coulson Cabs?
Not a bad place, really. Only problem is the number of people always coming here for work. Lots of folks think driving a cab is an easy job that anyone can do, but that's not the case. You need to know this city like the back of your hand, and it helps to know how to drive. So we get lots of fellas starting here who don't have the slightest clue what they're doing. They don't last long.
What about the automated cabs? Are those a problem for you?
I prefer not to think about those. Coulson said he's got no plans to replace his fleet, so it's all that matters to me.
Are you still living in Pumblechook Place?
I am, sir. Things are more or less the same, except Roger's not around anymore. Suppose he must have moved on. Hope he isn't planning on coming back, because his paintings made for great kindling.
Oh, I have a feeling he won't be.
Let's see.
Are you familiar with the so-called Justice Killer?
I've heard a few rumors here and there about some murders in the Chum, but I haven't paid him much attention. There's plenty for me to worry about in my own life.
Aren't you concerned for your safety?
Not really. Well, I haven't done anything wrong. So if this loony's going around doing justice, nothing for me to worry about.
He makes a good point. I think we need to get a better idea of what exactly these victims did to incur the wrath of our killer.
I appreciate your time, sir.
Pleasure's all mine.
Yeah, and I think at this point we're going to save the game. And next time around, we will continue our investigation. Our lives on the line now. So, as always, this is Rich Kale here on YouTube, Rich Genetics Elsewhere, inviting you to subscribe to the channel and check out the rest of the videos I put up on this playthrough. This is the last case in the game, so we're going to get through it. We're going to figure things out. We're going to do everything we can not to miss anything. Now, I don't think I made a mistake telling Addy about Bill. And I did try to make sure, cover for Upton. So hopefully things can play out proper here. Now, I've played through other point-and-click adventures, including I Have No Mouth and I'm Scream, Kathy Ray the Detective is Born. And I'm also working my way through other game series as well. I'm working my way through the Tomb Raider franchise, doing the core design timeline. I'm currently on Last Revelation, after that will be Chronicles, and yes, I'm going to even play Angel of Darkness. I'm also working my way through the Sherlock Holmes series in a chronological order, and at the time of the recording I've started the 6th game in the series chronology. Also, I believe 6th game released, and as Testament of Sherlock Holmes. Once Chapter 1 comes out, it'll be the 7th game in the timeline. And it could be out by the time this recording goes out. I'm also working my way through Aliens vs. Predator, the 2010 release. I'm getting closer and closer to completing the Predator campaign, which is the last campaign in the game that I have to play. I'm working my way through Portal, and once I finish Portal, I will also play Portal 2. I am working my way through The Witness, which is a fun little puzzle game. It's very relaxing. I am working my way through the Zork franchise. I have finished Zork 0, which is chronologically first. I have started Zork 1. And I am also working my way through Gibbous, a Cthulhu Adventure. Also, I have readings of stories that I've written over the years going up on Tuesday mornings. I have runs through Monstrum 2 going up on Thursday mornings. I have retrospectives going up every Saturday of games I've beaten, and I'm working my way through other games on a Wednesday morning. But until next time, again, this is Rich Kale here on YouTube. If you've watched to the end, thank you. Give this video a like, I appreciate it, and please subscribe to the channel. Take care and have fun.